It is the Kingdom Wife Mom Boss podcast.
So why would I walk away if God said I can handle it? If He has endowed me with dunamis power that lives in me, how can I live defeated?
But one of the things that I realized was that I'm a person too.
You're in the wilderness and you don't even realize it. And so now we walk around with the spirit of offense and unforgiveness and anger and bitterness. And God has to get that stuff off of us first.
Thriving Decrees for the Kingdom Wife Mom Boss is not just a book, but it is a power tool made for the leader in you as a wife, as a mother, as a business entrepreneur, and as a minister. Whatever is inside of us, it pours out of us in our leadership. And so this book was curated to ensure that the very best of you is what is being poured out. It was created to help you heal, overcome, and conquer everything that tries to hold you down from being the thriving leader that you were created to be. Make sure you go to my website at www.clemetradeshay.com and order your copy. Hey, Kino Wife Mom Boss. I cannot believe we are at the last episode of the third season. You guys have been so faithful, and this season has been incredible with all of the special guests that we have had on. And I'm excited. So this is just going to be the last episode before we pick back up at the end of July for the fourth season. And I'll tell you a little bit about the fourth season a little later on. But girl, how are you doing? How are you doing? What's been going on? It's the middle of the year. What has this year been looking like for you? I'm super excited. I'm actually so drained and full and excited at the same time. I don't know. I went to a retreat for one of the groups that I'm in, and I don't even like listen. I was trying to explain it to someone today because they were like, "Oh, how was the retreat?" I could not find the words. I could not find like there is not a single one word that I could like say about how amazing this was. It was a intercessors meet intercessors retreat, but it was just so it's like the when the presence of the Lord is there, like the fullness is there. And one of the things I remember saying was that I was undone because nothing was left undone. I think nothing undone was unanimously something that we decided on as a group, but I was undone because nothing was left undone. Every single thing that needed to happen, because when the presence of the Lord is there, you literally just get the fullness of it. And this was day after day after day of just the presence of the Lord. And it was just really amazing, such a blessing. And listen, we would be here all day if I tried to explain that to you. It was just the most. And I have a hard time explaining it because I don't want it to sound like it's like just another retreat because it was not. It was life changing in so many different ways. um, Healing, deliverance, breakthrough, revelation, knowledge, impartation, relationships, foundational relationship, building an actual like full community and strategies. And I mean, it was just so amazing. I can't even, and food and crazy like conversation, like just girl talk conversation. It was absolutely amazing. I think that, in this season, everybody definitely is needing community and needing something different, something shifting in their life for what it is that God is doing in them, in their marriage and in their family. Definitely something that is incredibly important to ask God to allow you to find your people, right? Allow you to find your people, those people who are going to be with you and help you to get to the next step, get to the next level, or carry out the vision, right? So, anyways, it's partially how I feel about this past week. Like I said, I can't even put it into words, and I don't want to do it any injustice. So until I can can completely navigate and figure out how I want to describe it. I'm just like, no words. And undone because nothing was left undone, right? But anyways, that is what I was doing last week. And it was an amazing time. And like I said, I hope you guys are having a good time. Yesterday was Father's Day, and so we get to celebrate our fathers and our husbands for being the fathers, like the amazing fathers that they are. And yeah. Yeah, listen, I'm telling you, in awe and stuck, like no words. No words, no words at all. But anyways, getting back to the podcast, really just this past year has been like the ladies that we've had on. We've talked about ministry, we talked about marriage, we talked about business and strategies and tools and nuggets, and that really was the goal for this season, was really just giving those tools and those nuggets, but also people telling their story. And so people got on here and really poured out why they do what they do, or why they are who they are, what they've experienced, what their testimony is, and what they've gone through. And that really just helps us to understand that we are not alone in certain situations. Sometimes it is that the same thing that we're experiencing, someone else has already gone through it, or someone else is currently going through it. You're not alone. And that is one of the biggest things that a lot of people struggle with, is they think that they have to navigate their hardships and their journeys and their trials alone. And when you do it alone, it typically tends to leave you cold. Like, it leaves you cold in the sense of you're desensitized and angry or frustrated. And so I'm trying to think that, listen, we had here, let me do this way. I feel like this would be the easiest way to do this. Okay. I just had to pull up the list because I'm like, I can't, we're on episode 25. I'm trying to remember, like, every single episode is insane. But I think so. Our first episode was Kenya, and Kenya really just got on and poured out into the community. And hers was really about the good journey, just, everything's working out according to the good, for the good of those who love the Lord. And sometimes for the good doesn't necessarily always feel good. And so it was really a conversation about perseverance and pushing through, so that you can understand the for the good part that God has for you and what's going on with you. And then we had Miss Lene, the redeemed perfectionist, and we had Miss Joy, the journey of a Christ-centered home. Soul brand alignment. I love Justina. She's so fun. She's so sweet. And then faith alignment and kingdom principles with Faustina. The legacy of telling your story with Tara. We've had getting to the heart of the matter with Dr. Philippa. And we had Journey Beyond Infidelity. I love Kate. Kate is so amazing. I love the story that she shares as far as her infidelity journey and how she overcame her infidelity journey. Um, that story is so important for a lot of wives to hear, because a lot of wives do silently struggle with infidelity. They silently are dealing with the aftermath of experiencing infidelity in their marriage and trying to make their marriage work. And that's not really a journey that you can take completely on your own, because you'll drive yourself crazy. You probably will drive yourself crazy. So I love Kate's story. If that is ever something that you're experiencing, please go back and listen to that. And then right after her, we had supporting the powerful Christian wife with Jenny Lynn Allen. I love Jenny. Super sweet lady, very passionate about making sure that Christian wives know how powerful they are. And the profitable Christian coach with Carrie Olson, so amazing. And the discarded daughter with Lisa Schaefer. Lisa's a hot mess. Like, I love Lisa so much. And bridging the gap between faith and work with Carol Evans. I know Carol said she had some kind of a summer series going on, and I bet that would be so incredibly worth it to check out, because Carol is like sharp about talking about about faith and work, and not just talking about it, but if you listen to her episode, she tells you how she walks it and how she lives it. And that is so important for many of us who are having trouble in the workplace, making sure that we walk according and in alignment to the faith that we have in Jesus Christ. And not even just in the workplace, but in the marriage and in home, in the family, wherever it is, just making sure that we bridge that gap between the faith that we have and the place that we are, right? Oh, that conversation is so powerful for that. Claim your calling with Charmaine Denton. Charmaine is I saw Charmaine, I said, girl, you're a minister. She does whole ministering in her coaching. And for me, I know that is amazing for somebody to not only help you with the vision, but to minister to you while they're helping you with the vision. Is really just pouring the life into you while you are working to accomplish this thing. And so, Shocking Your Stick with Deanna Beckett. Y'all, I hope y'all went on and got that book, because it sounds like an absolutely amazing book of just speaking to you as far as how to get in alignment with I guess I want to almost call it, oh Lord, I almost want to call it the fruit of the spirit in your everyday life. Literally is what I want to say with that. The fruit of the spirit in your everyday life. An anxious heart journey with Lisa Shaw. Lisa poured her heart out in that episode, talking about her testimony and her story, which was absolutely beautiful. The Promised Land mindset with Mary. Such a sweet spirit, but I feel like with her, it's like, don't let that sweet spirit fool you, because sis is a whole warrior. She is a whole warrior. She is leading. You have to look at her as, I guess, as a Moses to some, to take you out of this desert land, or a Joshua. hmm to take you out of this desert land and to lead you into the promises of God according to what God has spoken over you and your business or your life or whatever. And then navigating the call beyond motherhood with Missy. Missy was one of those great guests talking about just motherhood, something that we don't really get to talk about a whole lot. Um, Being a mother and what that feels like when God calls you not out of being a mother, but beyond being a mother. Like, you're a mother, you're a wife, but you're so much more, and what you experience when you're heading to that more. So that was a great and a powerful conversation for that. And then, of course, there's all the little episodes in between where it's just me and you. We just get to talk, just me and you. I love those intimate conversations. Those conversations are incredibly important to me, because I just want to make sure that you girls are okay. Do you have what you need in this season? And if there's something that you feel like you need that you don't have you had a conversation with the Lord about it to see how you can get what it is that you feel like you need? There were a lot of things, going back to this, there are a lot of things that I feel like I needed in my life, and a lot of those questions were answered, and a lot of those things were given to me last week when I was at this retreat. I'm telling you, literally nothing left undone. But whenever we find ourselves in a position where we feel like we need more, or we feel like we don't have what we need, God is always willing to have a conversation with us and to provide what we need, or to let us know that this thing that we think we need, we actually do not need. This thing might actually be a hindrance to your journey. And so it is worth it every single time to just sit down. And even if you're a person who says, I don't really hear the voice of God in that way, and I don't really know um, how to have that conversation with God, I literally find sometimes that if you're not a journaler, get to be a journaling person. Get you a notebook and write those questions in your notebook. Write them down. And I believe that at some point, because I know that God already hears you, that He will answer those questions. He will give you instruction. He will give you wisdom to the thing that you are asking Him. Especially because, like, every good and perfect gift comes from above. Like, God desires for us to be not to feel defeated and down all the time and to feel like we always in lack and we just can't win, and every time we turn around and we're taking two steps back. Like, God, that is not the God that we serve. That is not His desire nor His plan for us. And so if there's something that we feel like we're lacking or something that we feel like we're missing, ask Him about it. If you're a wife and you feel like that, and you're a mother, you feel like that, in your ministry and in your business, even in your community, as a daughter, like whatever part of life where you feel like you are really missing something, you're lacking something, and you need this thing, go to God and ask Him about it. Write down your question. Do you have a trusted source, someone that you can talk to, someone that you can chit chat this thing out with? Have a conversation with that person. Don't just sit on it, but pursue what it is that you feel like you need to be the best you, the best version of you in this season, so that you can walk into the fulfillment and the fruition of what it is that God is planning for you. I remember that was the first season that we had. Oh, geez, what's her name? I'll think of it in a minute. But she was just talking about having a monthly meeting with God, like having a monthly conversation where she asked God about her business and like what God's plan is for her business for that month and what He wants her to do. And if that's not something that we already practice, I feel like I need to be no, I do it often. I feel like I do it very often. I just don't sit down like once a month and have like a meeting, but I sit down with Him very often to just ask Him, what is the direction that I'm going in? And am I going in the right direction? Like, is there something I need to shift? Is there something I need to change? And if this isn't something that you already implement, something that you already do, then I highly suggest you do it. Listen, I'm about to drop this book on y'all. I gotta finish up a couple of things on this book, but this book is coming to you. Literally, it is Hand God Your Planner. And it talks a lot about really sitting with God and allowing God to direct your day and the benefits of it. And it's really a powerful book, but it's truly my testimony of how I have navigated so many things in life. And really is it really is just a part of what you do and who you are and how you show up and how you get things accomplished. Um because there's so many different aspects. I think that is such a hard thing really to wrap your head around sometimes. There's so many different aspects of this walk. It's spiritual, it's physical, it's emotional, it's psychological, it's all of these things. And so you as a mother, as a wife, you might have a job, you might be active in your church ministry, you might own your own business, you might be active in your community. Like, you have all of these things going on, and sometimes there can be things inside of you that are broken, things inside of you that are unhealed, causing depression, causing all types of ill feelings, and you might not even know it or fully understand it at the time. But at some point, these things come to, like, God delivers you from these things. He gives you revelation to these things, or He sends somebody to pull these things out of you. And I'm so grateful for those moments. And so Hand God Your Planner is not for you to ignore the fact that you need healing. It's not to ignore the fact that you need deliverance, but it is to keep you in a way to where you can navigate all of these things or balance out all of these things. I think some people like to say have oh Lord, what is the word that people use? I want to say equality, but it's not equality. Um, but I use the word balance, whatever it is. balance out all of these things to where you don't feel like you're dropping the ball on certain situations, right? Handing out your plan is allowing God to see you, see your day, see the things that are ahead of you, see your family, see your husband, see the wife that you need to be in the season, the mother you need to be in the season, whatever else you need to be in the season, or even in just this day, and allowing Him to direct you in that way. And so I'm super excited about the book. It is just part of this building process that God is allowing me to do in wives in a way to which I had to be built. I had to come into alignment and agreement with some things. I don't know, like if you have not gotten your Thriving Decrees, ooh, that is very bright. Thriving Decrees for the Kingdom Wife Mom Boss book. This book really is for those who are struggling with something and they don't know exactly what it is. It is an opportunity for you to seek the word of God and to align your heart and your mind with what God's truth is about you. And begin the process of being delivered, begin the process of understanding that maybe there's some things in you that need to shift. There's some mindsets in you that need to shift. And Hand God Your Planner is just really establishing the rhythm of allowing God to lead you. And so I'm super excited about that book that's already come out, in Hand God Your Planner that will be coming out in the books. Oops, sorry. In the books that will be coming out after that. And so I'll be busy finishing that up while we're on our little break. And when we come back, like I said, it's going to be season 4. The season 4 is for the wives. I don't know if I'll have as many guests on. I really just want to have like some one-on-one conversations with you about your season and in being a wife. I deal with wives essentially. I'm not here to tell you to stay. I'm not here to tell you to go. I'm not here to try to dominate that. Like that's not I don't like that's who am I? Like who am I when it comes to that? That is between you and God. But if you're in a place, and one of the ladies that I was with this weekend, she said something that was so important, and I didn't necessarily elaborate on it because what she said was very true, but I didn't necessarily elaborate on it. And there are some seasons where we feel like we want to leave, and God is telling us to stay. But here's the thing: God gives us free will. And He's not going to punish you for leaving a situation where validity, like valid, you have an absolute reason to leave that marriage in that season. But I believe that there are some times where God says, if you're willing to stay, I have a plan. If you are willing to endure this, I have a vision for your marriage, right? And in those moments, there are wives who choose to stay. There are wives who choose to endure so that they can see the vision of God or they can see the fruition of God. It really is, if you want to put it in relation to what's going on, like Jesus gave his, like when we say He died to Himself to save all people, to all mankind, there are times where as a wife you have to die to yourself in order to save your husband. um Allow God to do the work. Like, you can't save your husband, let's be very clear about that, but allow God to do the work through you to do what He needs to do to touch your husband. And there are times where you have to die to yourself daily, and that is hard. That is not an easy task. That is not an easy job. That is incredibly hard. And those are the wives that I deal with. Those wives who are being called to die to themselves daily so that um, the marriage can be healed, the family bond can be healed, and the husband, God can do the work through the husband. But those are wives who clearly know, clearly know that God has told them to stay in this place and that they're choosing to stay in this place because the warfare that comes with you fighting for your marriage, the warfare that comes with you choosing to stay in this place is heavy. And I am here for it. I am here for it because I have experienced it. I am here for it because man, those seasons are hard and you need someone with you to walk you through those seasons. And so that is a lot of the conversation that we'll be having next season. I know I can get some special guests on here because I know a lot of wives who deal with spiritual warfare. I know a lot of wives who deal with the mindset of a wife, right? And so I'll be gathering those ladies to come on and join me on the next season so that we can really just pour into the wife who is struggling in her marriage, pour into the wife that is feeling defeated in her marriage or in a place where God has given her the opportunity to stay, and she's just not sure how she's going to navigate that opportunity. And so that is what is going to be coming up in this next season. And listen, girl, I'll tell you, we're not going to be on here incredibly long. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for rocking with us in these last 3 seasons. We got to celebrate a year in November, which I think is amazing. I hope that you guys are getting what you need out of this podcast. I still love hearing from you. If you want to send me an email, it is kwmbpodcast at gmail.com, and just tell me your question, tell me your testimony. Let me know how you feel about the podcast. You can also go to the Kingdom Wife Mom Boss Podcast Facebook. There's a page there. You can go to my own personal Facebook, which is Clemetra the Shay. Is this it's Clemetra Shay on the Facebook group. While I am gone, I do have an email community. If you want to go to my website at www.clemetradashay.com and sign up to get my weekly news or weekly emails, you can do that. I also have a Facebook community called Fortify Wife, the Fortify Wife. I think it's the Fortify Wife. Listen, I think it's the Fortify Wife on Facebook. And in that community, we pray once a week. And we make posts, we have conversations about whatever. And those are some ways that you can stay in touch. Or you can just check us out next season as we come back to talk about you and me and others as a wife. Listen, I pray an abundance of peace and blessings to you ladies, because I won't see you for like a month while we are taking this between seasons break. And let me know if you need anything. I pray that you guys have a very transformational, loving month of your summer while we're not here. And I am signing out, and I will talk to you ladies next season. Love you. Bye. Hey, I hope that you enjoyed the episode. Make sure that you catch us every week here on the Kingdom Wife Mom Boss podcast, where we are bringing you new episodes, new content, new information, new empowerment, new strategies, and new strength. Until then, I'll catch you next time.